My name is Pearson Grant, and today I'll be talking about white men and mental health and how that relates to physical health by using this infographic that I've created called Silent Pressure, Mental Health and Heart Risk in White Men. And this is going to display how stress, stigma, and bad coping habits impact both mental health and physical health. Firstly, men aren't talking. Men often do not go to see a therapist or talk to anybody for that fact. Men are less likely to seek help for mental health. They're more likely to have emotional suppression, which will in turn increase stress. They also can have a higher risk for chronic stress, which leads to serious health risk. According to the CDC, in 2023, 80% of suicide deaths in the US were men. This number is very alarming and needs to have something to mitigate this. When looking at mental health, all these mental things can often turn physical and cause serious health complications. When this stress becomes physical, this can cause many long-term effects, such as having long-term stress raising blood pressure. It can also have an increased risk for heart attack, stroke, or hypertension, which is all things cardiovascular related that can lead to heart attacks and strokes and such. Heart disease is the number one cause of death in men, and this is very alarming because these are all things that could be prevented by taking a few preventative measures. Often, instead of seeking the help they need, men will lean on unhealthy coping habits, things that aren't going to be good for their health and that are just detrimental overall. Men have a very high rate of binge drinking, especially when due to stress, and it's used as a big stress reliever in the evening when men come home from work or have a long day. Alcohol is often used as an emotional escape to help kind of nullify all the emotions that they don't want to talk about or speak on. And this leads to worsened mental health and worsened heart health. When men use these unhealthy coping habits, they in turn decrease their mental health because they don't talk about these issues. And also, the binge drinking can have some severe risk when it comes to their heart and body because alcohol long term is not good, especially if you're binge drinking. It is shown that men are 2 times more likely to binge drink than women, and this really enhances the problem of the worsened mental health and physical health. We can move over here to this little cycle. You can see it's a continuum that just goes back and forth and loops around. So we start with the mental health struggles, which can lead to bottling up emotions, which can lead to increased stress, which then can lead to substance use, such as alcohol or drugs. And this can relate back to poor physical health. And often when someone's in poor physical health, this can also cause their mentality and their mental health to go down. And overall, decreases their livelihood and their physical being. As stay in the middle, what starts mentally can become life-threatening physically very quickly when using these bad coping habits and not talking to somebody and not getting the proper help that you need. There are many reasons why these things happen. A big thing is a stigma around mental health. For years, it's been seen as men are tough and they're not supposed to really express their emotions and keep them bottled up, and they're supposed to have this tough guy persona. Society has made it today where men don't really talk about their problems and they kind of keep them up, and they are seen as feminine if they do talk about their problems, and this has become a big issue. This also comes with the fact that there are a lot less mental health and emotional outlets for men. For example, women are often urged to talk about their problems and go to therapists and talk to each other about these issues. But when growing up, I saw a lot that men were told to be tough guys and not talk about their emotions, and this kind of can lead to a lifelong habit of not talking about emotions, not showing emotions, and in turn having these bad habits. Also, lots of men have fear of judgment. fear of being seen as weak or emotionally unstable, or sometimes seen as feminine. These pressures and stigmas around mental health can cause men to not talk about them at all and lead to these struggles. When we look at fixing these issues, there's a lot of things we can do to take steps to have men talk about mental health and in turn fix their physical health and have better lives overall. We can now encourage men to talk openly about mental health, go to regular therapy and normalize therapy. This can show that it's okay to have emotion, okay to talk about your emotions. We can also strive to build healthy coping habits, such as talking to people or going outside and enjoying nature. Exercise has been a very big thing that has become very popular to help cope with mental health things, and to a certain extent, it can be very good to help regulate emotions and keep from being too bottled up. Paired with this, we can urge men to talk to others and show that it's okay to have emotions and okay to talk to people and okay to feel these ways. You just have to be able to cope the right way and do these things in a healthy way. Then to kind of stop it from ever happening, we can also look at stress management things. So teaching men how to manage all the things they have going on and all the stress and all the emotions they have to stop really any of this from happening in the first place. Because when you start from square one, you can stop all the other sequential steps in this equation. Overall, when looking at mental health in men, it can impact a lot of things in their lives. So we should take steps to strive towards openness and lots of mental health advocacy for men. If we can do this, we can help take down the suicide rates and the cardiovascular risk in men and have a healthier men population overall.